Stephanie. Well, like Stephanie said, I'm Emily Phillips. I work for Valley Strong Credit Union. I actually work in our marketing department, but what my role is, I'm the financial wellness manager. So I get the opportunity to go out to different organizations and lead workshops on any topics that are relevant. So this is my first time here at Covenant Coffee, and I'm super excited to be here and to meet you all. But today we are going to focus on budgeting, and then if we have scheduled classes going forward, we'll talk about like what subjects you want to learn about, and we'll tailor it to whatever your needs are. But everyone has a document, and this is your participant guide. So this participant guide, there's a few little activities in here that we'll have you do, and then we'll talk about as a group. And then I also have a presentation on the screen that will go through some of our items today. Before we jump in, let's get your first names if that's okay. Mindful that it's being recorded. Is that okay? Okay, all right. So let's start over here.
Destiny.
Hi, Destiny. Nice to meet you. Angel?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, Angel.
Rosemary.
Rosemary. All right, nice to meet you. And then Tristan over there, I think.
Tristan, do you want to introduce yourself too?
Oh, he has the music going. Okay. So we are going to go talk about budgeting. So let's hear from you all. Any of you do you already have a budget? Are you super strict with it? Or do you think there's some opportunity there?
I've been budgeting.
Yeah.
Saving for a few years already.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I've got a budget too. It's a little bit like there's flexible areas because I try to pad it, but I feel like I lose track sometimes because of the padding.
Okay. All right. Nope. Okay. That's okay, because this is like foundational. Hopefully you walk away today and you're like, I could do that. And you find what works for you. And then if you're already doing the budgeting and you want to share tips that have worked for you with your peers here, do that. Because you never know what will be helpful for somebody else.
I would just say when it comes to budgeting, don't try to not impulse shop a lot.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
a big one.
For sure. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about what's that happy medium that you allow yourself so you don't impulse shop, but yeah. Okay. So, in today's workshop, we are going to talk about the importance of creating a budget, and the most important part really is maintaining it, right? So, you sit down on paper, you write up your budget. What are you doing to maintain it going forward? And then we have examine the differences between wants and needs. So, we know that, right? Wants and needs. Okay, we'll talk about that. And then we will set goals for spending, savings, and if you have any debt, maybe how to work on repaying those. It didn't ask, are we 18 yet? Yes, everyone is 18 and above. Okay, cool. So you might already have some debt then because you are adults and you're able to take out those credit cards and things like that. All right, so in this class, we work on a lot of scenarios. So we will learn through scenario analysis. So today we're gonna talk about Marta. So Marta is a 40-year-old woman who works 2 jobs, one at a grocery store and another as a hostess at a restaurant. She often feels overwhelmed by her debt. She also has bills late in the past, and one reason is that her personal finances are not very organized. Marta wants to become more financially stable. Any of us relate with that a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Can I ask, are you guys working yet? Yeah? Jobs? Cool. All right, so then you know what it's like for money to come in, and then you probably have responsibilities that you are responsible for paying. So we're gonna look at Marta's situation and talk about maybe some ways that she can make some decisions that might help her out, and then you can take that information away and apply it to your own finances if it's appropriate. Okay, so Marta makes $2,000 per month in net income. Marta feels like she can't make her own money she can't make her money last through the end of the month. How can Marta help herself get ahead? Before I give you the answers, any ideas? So how is Marta gonna make sure that she gets ahead? Or some tips.
Budgeting.
There you go, right? Yeah.
I would say like see what she's spending and whatnot.
Yep.
Plan it out.
See if she can make cuts.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys all hit, that's perfect. So do you already have bank accounts? Okay. Do you use your debit cards all the time? Just swipe, 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 or Apple Pay? I'm an Apple Pay girl. Yeah, so it's so easy to spend money nowadays, like without even realizing you're spending it. It's so easy just to swipe your card or tap your phone and it's paid. But when you go back and look at your account, you're like, holy cow, I loaded my card twice yesterday at different places to get coffee and bought this on Apple Pay and I didn't even realize how much money I spent. That's me. Yeah, so we're gonna see what Marta does. But you guys said make a financial plan, so that's a budget, right? Make a budget. Have savings. Why is it important that she maybe have some savings on hand?
Because it'll add up.
Adds up, yeah.
And then you can use the money for emergencies or just to have money.
Yeah, absolutely. Life happens, right? So having a little bit of a savings put aside for those unexpected events. All right, and then live within her means. So we're gonna look at, is she living within her means? Do we understand what that means? Sometimes like living outside of your means could be like,
Buying stuff you can't afford.
you got it. Yes. Yeah. Like, am I gonna buy this purse that's $100 when I'm already strapped this week? Like, no, I probably shouldn't, right? That's not within my budget. No. Okay, and then reduce her debt. Okay, so gross and net income. First, let's start by talking about those. Does anyone want to talk about what gross income is?
I mixed them up.
Mix them up? Okay. I can probably give you a tool that might help you keep them separate.
I know what it is, but I don't know at the same time.
Hard to put it into words?
Yeah.
Okay, same?
I don't know what it means.
Okay.
One of them's like everything, like all of your assets and everything that you like earned before, and one of them's like your actual everything that you have. I just know it's different when you bring it.
There you go. Yeah. So in short, your gross income is what you actually make, right? Based on your hourly rate, how many hours you work, that all calculated is your gross income.
Before tax.
There you go. You absolutely got it, Angel. And then net income is after your deductions, right? So that's after your taxes. That might be after if you pay like insurance or anything like that. That comes out of your wages. So your net income is what you take home however often you're paid. Like me, I'm paid every 2 weeks. So my net income after my taxes come out is that amount, right? Okay, so how I think about it so I don't get them confused is gross income is like, just keep that in mind. Gross is what you make, right? And then a net income, I think about a fishing net that catches stuff. So it's catching your taxes, it's catching your deductions, and then you're left over with a certain amount. That's the net. I don't know if that helps. It kind of helps me. Feels like robbery, yeah. Actually, I was teaching this course not too long ago, and someone said, I think about it like gross. Like, it's so gross how much comes out of our check.
Yeah.
And so I think they said the bigger amount is how they remember gross, and then it's after everything comes out, yeah.
Which you
I was like,
actually
huh.
bring home.
Yep.
I should remember because gross is just French for large.
Oh, is it?
Close.
There you go. Did not know that. All right, so there you go. It's the amount of money you earn before anything is taken out for taxes, and net is the amount of money after taxes are taken out. All right, So budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money. How can a budget help me? Well, it's gonna help us live within our means, right? It lets us really evaluate what that looks like for us. And remember, it's different for everybody. Helps you pay down your debt and helps save for future and emergencies. Okay, so let's take a moment and look at MARTA's wants and needs. So in your participating guide, or participant guide, on page 3, it's the first one when you open it up. We have a list of items, and I want you, I see you're already doing it, you're ahead of the game, thank you. So put a W if you think it's a want, and put an N if you think it is a need. I don't know, maybe I can hold this thing. I don't know if that is a good angle.
Yeah, perfect.
So a W for a want and an N for a need. And then we're going to talk through them as a group.
I feel like some of these things are wants and needs.
Yeah, and we'll talk through that, right? Yeah.
That's where you can.
Okay, I think everyone is just about done, so let's go through it real quick. And I think this differs just a little bit from the presentation, but we're gonna go by your sheet. So, coffee,
Want.
everyone agree?
Want, depending on who you are.
Yeah, some people actually do that.
Some people literally can't go to work without it, so it's a need for them.
At
But you
this
can make
point
your
in my
own.
life,
They're
yeah.
still paying for coffee. Nobody said Starbucks, they just said coffee.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna say for today it's a want, because we're gonna assume they're talking about MARTA is going out to Starbucks every day, spending $7 on a cup of coffee, right? That's a want. Yeah. Okay, groceries. Absolutely, it's a need, right? Car insurance.
Need.
Need. Internet.
But no,
Most definitely.
most people can't have a job without the internet.
So especially if you work from home, or if you're doing
Even if
Lyft,
you don't work from
Uber.
home. Like, it pretty much is a need for if you want to have a job.
Yeah, and that one is always debatable, right? Because in today's world, like, internet, it is used for so much, right? So most of us say it is a need. I would fall in that category too. Like, when I work from home, I have to have the internet. But if we're looking at cutting things, could it fall into a want? It could, because there are options like public library where I can go and I can use Wi-Fi, and you know, there are alternates that we can consider that might work for like a short term, right?
For some people.
For some people, yep, it all depends. Okay, restaurants,
Want.
100%, that is a want. Entertainment,
Want.
want. Car payment,
Need.
it is a need, yeah. Transportation expenses,
Need.
yes, yep. And maybe you know, some people have argued, no, the car payment isn't a need, it's a want. Well, there's also, again, that's one of those that there's alternates. So maybe transportation expenses, like you decide you do want to use public transportation, you know, so those may vary a little bit.
It's just like the internet. You can still do some jobs with, like, the alternatives, but a lot of people won't hire you if they know you're taking the bus. And a lot of people won't hire you if they know you're using library Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, rent.
Yeah.
Need.
That's a need. We all need somewhere to live, right? Health insurance and medical expenses.
Need.
Need?
I
Yes.
didn't put a W right there. I meant to put an M.
There's a W because W medical bill.
Yep, it is. All right, credit card payment.
If you have one.
If you have one, you need to pay it.
Right. Hopefully we could get to the point where we don't have credit card bills or like we're able to easily manage those. But hopefully they're lower and within our means. Okay, clothing.
It depends on if she just wants to go shopping just to splurge or if she needs clothes.
Right. Yep. Again, debatable. We got to talk through the details. Is it your necessities? You know, maybe you're buying work uniform, the basics to get you through a week until you can do laundry. Then absolutely.
More socks, more underwear.
Yeah.
bras.
Yeah.
Could never have too much of those.
And you think about like, okay, how often do I have to buy these things? Okay, I'm gonna put that in my budget, right? Yeah. Utilities, need, and so on. Yep, it's a want. Okay, great. So we all agreed on most of those. So we're sure.
Wow.
All right, so now that we know about Marta's wants and needs, we're gonna look at some of her expenses and talk about if there's anywhere that she can cut some expenses. Cause we learned earlier, remember Marta makes $2,000 a month net, and these are her bills. Okay, so let's take a moment to look at those. And I think, yes, they are on your guide on page 4. Let's see. The first category is what they classified as wants. And they said coffee, restaurants, entertainment, clothing, and salon. Did we say those were all wants?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? Okay, so we see that Marta is spending $330. And then she has 2 credit cards, credit card A and credit card B. Those are her monthly payments. Those, in my opinion, are kind of high. She's spending $300 a month. Depending on like what income you're bringing in, that's pretty hefty. And needs, so rent, groceries, cell phone, car payment, car insurance, transportation, health insurance, and internet are all the needs. And see, they put the internet under needs, so probably feel the same. Nowadays you kind of need it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so $1,565. Anyone super good at math and can do that number in their head real quick, adding those 3 together? 1565, 330, and 300. Okay, we're gonna let you calculate it. Tell us. 2,200. As she's making
Yeah, 21.95.
$21.95, according to everything that is outlined here for Marta, and we know she's only bringing $2,000 home a month. So
Way over budget.
she's over budget, right? Which probably leads to, any guesses?
Cutbacks.
Cutbacks are what we need to do, but why do we think her credit cards are so high?
Because she's
Putting everything on
putting
credit.
herself in debt.
Yeah. So maybe at the end of the month, you know, before that paycheck comes in, she's like, man, I really want to go out with the girls and go have our dinner at Chili's or whatever it is, and I'm going to spend that $50. But if she doesn't have the money, it's going to be on that credit card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just gets you in a hole over and over. So we're going to look at Marta's expenses and figure out where can she make some cuts.
Definitely in the wants, I would say use about half of that, so maybe 150 for all the wants.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what ones specifically do you think like you could slash?
Definitely the restaurants. Nowadays, it doesn't matter whether you eat out or get groceries, just cook at home, it doesn't matter. It's a lot of money either way. But I would say just to not go out so much. And as for the coffee, I would say invest in a coffee pot. Instead of buying coffee every morning, she can just make her own coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Save her some money. Clothing, she spends $100 on clothing a month. To me, that sounds like shopping. Because I'm not sure why you would spend $100 on clothing a month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her case though.
Unless you have like a baby. Even then, I don't know. Depends on where you're buying the clothes, I guess.
Yeah, and then the salon, $100 a month. I don't know what she's doing there, but I would say maybe pick a new hairstyle or something.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good call out. Like, it doesn't have to be cut it completely, right? But maybe she needs to alter what she's doing, right? So maybe it's maybe she's going to the salon every week and getting her hair done every week, right? Okay, maybe you need to consider another method that's going to save funds, for sure. Or like getting your nails done. Do you need to get your nails done no, not really. Not if you're living outside of your means. I like your coffee call out too, because I feel like that's my, what do I want to call it? My vice. I am a coffee drinker, but when I look at it at the end of the week, I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I spend that much on coffee? I could have made it at home for half the cost, right? Yep.
I also just want to point out that this seems like an older model for like the way that she's working 2 jobs, bringing home $2,000 a month. Her rent is only $600 for some reason. But for somehow, I don't know how big her family is, she's spending $200 on groceries a month. I could survive on less than that. I'm feeding a 370-pound man at home. There's no way that she needs to be spending that much unless she has a family of 12.
She's just living by herself, right?
This looks like an older model as well. It's not even now. This is like years ago. She could definitely cut down on groceries.
I was thinking $200 a month for one person.
She's shopping at
I don't
Trader
know.
Joe's
I don't
or
know if I
Aeron.
would be able to
Yeah.
do that. I was more thinking that was low budgeted
Low.
for groceries.
I would agree.
Mhm.
I feel like
Groceries
200
have
is kind
gotten
of
really
low.
expensive.
No, that's for like this doesn't.
You
look
must
like
be a
now.
really good grocery shopper.
Her rent
I
is
know.
600. She spends a third of her rent on groceries. That's crazy.
When you're looking at it in comparison, I could see that. But I would also look at like when you go to the grocery store nowadays and you're buying like your trips, like how much are they really costing you? How often
Yeah,
are you going?
but like my car payment's also more. My utilities are also
Yeah.
Your
more.
rent is
My
more.
rent is also
Mhm.
more. So for her groceries to be grossly more
Yeah.
than at all the rest of her budget should be by ratio.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
With her getting her rent 600, she makes 2,000 a month off 2 different jobs. She should probably. I don't think groceries. What universe is this in? What country and what
She needs
year?
to stop eating.
Yeah.
She likes her snacks.
She's buying like straight Trader Joe's, like pre-sandwich McDonald's.
Just getting meat baskets and
She's getting-
Oh my goodness, meat baskets. Yes. Okay, so yes, we can acknowledge that these numbers are probably not as accurate for 2025 anymore. Some of them might be higher, some of them might be lower, and that comes with our economy, right? Those numbers are going to fluctuate like crazy. So it just depends. But I like that you're comparing the numbers and you're looking at your rent compared to how much you're spending in that. That's really great. Okay, so how can I free up funds? We're going to cut expenses. We just talked about some of the things that Marta can cut. We're going to reduce our spending. That comes along with cutting expenses. We're going to price shop for services. So I think I was kind of alluding to that, right? And then you said, I think, no, did you say go to a different salon? No, you said do a different hairstyle.
Yeah, so try something else.
Yeah.
That's less expensive.
Yeah, so if it is something that you absolutely have to do, okay, do it. But always shop around first, right? Never go with the first quote. If you're buying something, like, I know if I see something I really like at like, I did it this weekend. I was in Best Buy and I was looking at something and I was like, seems expensive. Let me check Amazon. It was cheaper on Amazon. So always shop around. All right, think about a new job. So, Rosemary, right? You said earlier she's working 2 jobs and making $2,000. Yeah, so we don't know her situation. Again, also that's probably not as accurate with today's
Crazy
like
number for
income.
today.
Yeah, so we can agree on that. We acknowledge it, but she, in her case, probably can look around, see if she can find a job that maybe can provide her more income. Maybe she's only working part-time at these places. Maybe she needs to find a job that's
With
full-time.
fast food places, like the hours are cut and all that, especially if they hire new people, and that's why other people have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Same for retail when I was working retail, but it's just at the end of the day, I don't know much about this lady, but she's got experience. I think she's worth more than this. I think she.
You're
can get a
advocating
job.
for her.
Know
That
your
she
worth,
gets her
Martha.
full-
Yes. Yeah, so if she was our friend, we would probably encourage her, like, hey, maybe we should look and see if, you can find a different
She's a hard worker, man. I know.
Yeah. Okay, and then consider freelance work or gig. Well, that's kind of like having a second job, but yeah, everybody has like a little side hustle now, right? Like something you're into, you enjoy. Maybe you enjoy taking pictures, and so you want to start up photography on the side. Like a lot of people could do that to bring in extra income. Just if any word to the wise, make sure it's something you enjoy. Okay. So let's talk about Marta's credit cards real quick. So she has those interest rates. What'd you say about them?
Those interest rates are so high.
Those are some
They seem high to you?
crossroads interest rates.
Yeah, they're pretty high. 18% and 23%.
Are we buying a house? Why?
Wait, did you say, is she buying a house?
Yes.
Mm.
I don't know what, okay.
Well, you know, credit card interest rates, they're considered unsecured, right? So if Marta stops paying her payment, wherever that credit card is through, whether it's a bank, a credit union, a store like Best Buy, if Marta stops paying her payment, the company is out, right? There's nothing for them to collect on. Where a house, there's a house, and so there's collateral. And so if Marta stops paying her payment, the bank can go after the house and take that collateral in and make money. So that's why the interest rates on credit cards are so high, because they're risky.
Yeah, but my credit card is like 5% or something.
5%?
Yeah.
Keep that credit card forever. That is not usual. And okay, so of course I work at a credit union, so I'm gonna plug this. Rates are usually lower at credit unions than they are like banks or store credit cards, right? And I think our lowest interest rate on a credit card right now is like 12%. I cannot quote that directly because I don't have quotes right in front of me, but I know they start around there. So 5% is really low.
I mean, mine is like specifically for like, I use it for vet bills specifically.
Okay.
But I think it's like mostly for medical stuff. But it's like still, I don't know, man. I haven't had a credit card. If I saw on one of my credit cards it was charging me 18% interest, I would immediately cancel I'd cancel my social security number.
If only. But yeah, so those interest rates are a little bit scary. We know that means we're going to be paying a lot of interest back, right? So those rates should deter you from like spending uselessly on your cards, right? So before you swipe it at that Chili's, like I said earlier, Marta putting it on her card because she didn't have money at the end of the month, like she would think about that, hopefully, right?
She would have to pay that back.
Yeah. So we see one balance is $1,400 and one balance is $1,300. We're going to talk for a moment about two methods of paying off debt. So I don't want you guys to give us any information because that's your personal information, but here are two methods that you can take and apply to your own debt, right? So have you guys heard of these, the avalanche or snowball? Okay. So the avalanche method, it says list all your debts from highest to lowest interest rate. Ensure that your monthly minimum payments are met for each debt category and choose the highest interest rate to pay off first. So this right here, this table, it says credit card A, credit card B. It's kind of shown for the avalanche method. So she has the highest interest rate on top and then credit card B is on bottom. So for the avalanche method, the theory is that you would put any extra money that you have that you can allot to your payments towards the one with the higher rate. And so the goal is to get that one paid off quicker, because the quicker you pay it off, the less interest rate you're gonna pay, right? So they say pay as much as you can. Now, again, that second bullet says make sure you're making the minimum payment on both. So if you have more than one credit card, don't neglect the other one, because that'll mess with your credit, right? But continue to pay it. Any extra money goes towards the higher one. And then guess what? Once that higher credit card is paid off, then all of that money that you were allotting towards the higher interest rate then goes towards the next credit card with the other interest rate. Hers is only 2, so it's kind of weird to say, but then it all goes towards that second credit card. So that's the avalanche method. What's really great about the avalanche method is you're starting off with paying off the debt that is the highest first, the highest interest. So that's why that one's great. However, the snowball method is a little more common. The snowball method says to list all your debts from smallest to largest balance. Ensure that your monthly minimum payments are met for each category, and then choose the loan with the smallest balance to pay off first. So this little table right here would actually be flipped, and we would have credit card B on top and credit card A on bottom. We would make our monthly payments on both, but anything extra that we can afford, we would put towards credit card B, the smaller balance, and we would try to get that one paid off as quickly as possible. Once that card is paid off, any money that we were putting towards that then goes to the next one in line, okay? And then you keep doing that with all of your debt, and they call it a snowball because think about like a snowball rolling down a hill of snow, like it picks up everything extra. But the reason that one is a little more popular is because if you're starting with the lower debt, you're gonna pay them off quicker. And do you get motivated when you see results quicker? Yeah, it's just human nature, right? Like if you're, I don't know, if you're on a diet and you lose a pound that week, don't you get excited? You're like, ooh, I want to lose, like I could keep going, right? But if you don't, you're kind of discouraged and it's like, ugh. So that's why they say snowball is great if you're a person that likes that instant gratification or seeing results quicker. Yeah. Any questions on the two methods that you can use towards repaying debt?
My question is a little bit more to the side, but it's got me wondering because of credit. Like, I wonder if they would affect it differently. I imagine you'd eventually get the same result, but like the snowball method would probably give you sooner results in terms of like raising, well, it'd lower your credit score, wouldn't it, from paying off your debt?
It's a balancing act, right? So like one of the factors that how your credit is determined, there's 5 different factors, right? And when we're talking about debt, what it looks at is your capacity, like how much you have available, but it doesn't necessarily do it like per card. It looks at your total capacity on your credit cards, and then you want that to be under a certain amount. So normally right now I think it's about 30% that they say your capacity should be under. So you just want to kind of keep that in mind. Still, what I would do just to be safe, if you have 2 credit cards, I wouldn't have either of those over 30%. But you got to look at your total balance.
I think on my Credit Karma it says that the best green scores in like 10%. For like the best credit climbing over time or whatever.
To have like a 10% capacity, or what do you mean?
Yeah, if you only use like 10% of your credit limit.
Oh, yeah. That.
And if you goes like 10 to 20, then it's like a B or whatever, and then if it's like 20 to 30, it's like, I don't know, but it's something like that. And I just know that when I did pay off my, last time I paid off a credit card and closed it, it like tanked my credit completely.
Okay, so the key word you said there is you closed it. So that immediately lowers your like capacity. So if you have, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you have those credit cards and say you have 3 credit cards, right? And they each have $1,000 limit. If you close one, how can I explain this? They each have $1,000 limit, and let's only say they have $500 balances, right? So you have like capacity available, but if you close it, now you only have 2 credit cards and you only have $1,000 capacity. Where if you would have left that third one open, you would have had 3 credit cards, and then you would have had like the whole $1,000 available on this, and then 500 and 500 on these 2. So more capacity, and that is what increases your credit score. I wish I had like a chart, like draw that out, but
yeah, I think it's like, I think I understand. It's that and like, cause it's even though you're still using half, you have less in general to contribute, and then also like the age of the accounts. I think they said,
yeah,
cause like my whole thing would be like 5 years on average, but I closed an old one, so now like all my accounts are like 4 years
they
old.
look new. Yeah. Yep. So there's 5 different factors that go into your credit. The capacity is only one. You said age, that is the other. There's variety of credit, so what type of credit that you have. There's inquiries, and then the biggest one is how you manage your debt and how you repay your payments, right? So basically not being late is the biggest.
So do you recommend not using like a debit card as much, or like in terms of budgeting and making sure that we don't overspend and go down that road? Do you think it's easier to just use a credit card to try to budget ahead of time, or?
Yeah, I would recommend using your debit card. If you have the money in your checking account and you can use your debit card, stick to your budget, use the debit card. The only time I use your credit card, I know some people use their credit card for their monthly expenses and then they pay it off every month. That's great, but that takes a lot of discipline. One, because it's also easier to swipe your credit card because you're not seeing the money come out of your checking account right away. And so sometimes you like forget about that budget and overspend. And then two, at the end of the month, something comes up and you don't end up paying off your credit card in full. Now you have a balance that's going to carry over. So unless you are really disciplined and maybe already have like a good nest egg saved up, I would not recommend that. Use your debit card.
Definitely don't use your credit card for stuff that you can't pay back.
There you go.
I use my credit card for gas a lot, but I don't spend a certain amount. Like once I get to like 120 something on my credit card, spending that much, I stop spending.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time for me to pay off that, I can just easily pay that off because I was already gonna use that money for gas with my debit card.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mentor told me, it's almost like moving your money around.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already gonna spend that money on gas with my debit card. So I might as well spend it with my credit card, and then it comes time to pay off my credit card. The money that I was gonna use for gas, I'm just using to pay off.
Yeah. And as long as you're disciplined with that and you know, like it sounds like you have that worked into your budget and that's amazing. So as long as you know, like I'm gonna do it every single month, I'm gonna pay that 120 off. Golden. That's really great if you can do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's good to have a single thing or like a couple things for people to have for the credit card, because I just, like I said, I just use it for my vet bills and stuff for my dogs, and that is the same. Like every month I have it. I probably won't close it and pay it off all at once. I always thought that was the goal, was to eventually just pay it off completely, but then they get mad when you pay it off completely.
Yeah.
So just having like a little thing, it raises your credit forever, and that'll help me buy like a car one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like next time we come back, we're doing Credit 101 shop.
Yeah.
I feel
a good
like
one.
that's a popular one.
Mhm.
All right. So we know some things about Marta and how she should pay off her debt, and you can take those methods, the avalanche and snowball, and look at your debt if you have any, and talk about or look at and see if you can apply either of those. We have an activity on page 5, and these are your goals. So there are different kinds of goals that you can make. So these are financial goals that you could set for yourself, and there are 3 types. So there's your short-term goal that can be accomplished in a few months up to 2 years, so that qualifies as short-term. There's medium-term goals, and that is 2 to 5 years. And then there is long-term goals, and that is more than 5 years. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes, and on page 5, think about what some of your financial goals are and write those in. So remember, I think it says, yes, the time frames on each one. And you can share these with the group, but you don't have to, okay? So dream big. I don't know how I did this, but look at this. I brought 5 of each swag item, so you guys are going home with both today. 1, 2, 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
go, but you don't know the cost of your goal.
You know the cost of it? Just estimate or question mark, you're gonna research it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I won't make you share them, but take that home, sit with it, think about your goals, apply it to your budget, and start putting away for those, or make sure you're on track to hit those. All right, so one more tool you can put in your toolbox, and I think this is the last one I'll leave you with, but this is just a rule that you can apply, and it's called the 50-30-20 rule. So in theory, how it works, this is when you are making a budget. This is how this rule recommends splitting up your money. So they say 50% should go, no more than 50% of your income should go towards your needs. So we already talked about needs were, right, for MARTA. We said no more than 50% should go, okay? Then we say 30% of your income is for your wants and 20% is going towards your savings account, or if you have debt, your debt first, right? So why do you think that they allow 30% for wants?
I don't know, but I was thinking I would drop it down at least one of the
Were
5-6%.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's because most people don't have self-control, they're gonna do at least that.
Yeah. And I think it was you earlier who said, or maybe it was Angel. Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot remember. Who said impulse spending? Okay, yes. Yeah, because if you completely restrict yourself of all of your wants, what's going to happen?
You're
I'm
gonna,
gonna binge your once.
yeah.
You got it. Yes, exactly. You are going to binge and be like, swipe, 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 right? But if you budget and you allow yourself, like, hey, I really want this thing, but it's like outside of my needs, like you're gonna budget for that a little better, right? Yeah. So allow yourself a little bit. 30% is what is recommended, and then on the 20%, they say that you should pay down your debt as much as you can, but it's also good to have some savings. So you kind of have to balance how that works for you, how much debt you have, what you can put in savings. But you should definitely have something in savings for those unexpected expenses so you don't end up in more debt. Like having to change your tires, or maybe you hit a pothole and have to get a whole new rim, something like that.
That happened to me once in the past where I budgeted too closely and then something unexpected happened. And then I was like a little bit more, like, I was okay, but I was a little bit in debt the next month. And then it got like worse because that month I was making up for the past month. And then I had to like wait till I randomly got some money by luck to like even it out.
Yep, that happens. For sure. All right. So there's the amounts that they did for MARTA. They dropped her wants to $1,000, her needs to $1,000, wants to $600, and $400 for savings or debt. So she is now right at the $2,000 a month.
I would say at least 200 to 300 of the wants need to go towards the needs and the debt.
But it depends, like if
split it a little more.
she could, but if she, using this rule, if she made all of her needs fit within that $1,000, then she was successful.
And that's great. And then the rest of that could go into savings or pay off some more debt.
Okay, so you're a little more strict,
Yeah.
but you know what? That's good. Okay, so there's what they changed for Marta, and that's on your page 6. You can see like where they cut her funds. So groceries, they cut her by $30 a month. Cell phone, they cut a little bit cheaper or affordable. Car insurance, maybe she shopped around and got some cheaper insurance. Transportation expenses went down. Yeah, so you can see where they found ways to make cuts for her. Mostly in the wants area. And then do you guys notice on the debts how they changed the monthly payments?
Yeah.
So what method is that?
Snowball.
It-
Or no, Avalanche.
It's Avalanche, yeah. She's paying more towards that credit card that had the higher rate.
Well, she has a savings of $100. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
It is, right? And imagine that every month. So in 6 months, there you go. $600 saved up. Yep. Okay, so your key takeaways for today. There's lots of strategies for budgeting, but the most important thing is that you use one to manage your spending, savings, and debt repayment. Yeah, so find out what works best for you. We gave you the 50-30-20 rule, and then those two debt repayments. Just find what makes sense for your budget. When approaching your debt repayment, consider strategies. Oh, we just said that. And then speak to someone you trust, like a family, friend, financial advisor, additional support. So your mentors, maybe family members, anything like someone that you trust to talk about finances with. All right. That's all I have for you as far as the presentation. Did this bring up any questions, any feelings of uncertainty, anything that we can talk through?
I have a question.
Yes.
What is your recommendation? Like, do you know like what, like Rocket Money and stuff?
Rocket Money. Is that a like checks?
It's an app for like if you forgot and some of your like sometimes you have subscriptions they've forgotten about and they're like paying for a magazine somewhere in their bank account or they're paying for like these things that they forgot about. And there's stuff like that that'll go and like help make sure you're not paying for random stuff that you should be. I was wondering if you had a like preference of one of those types of things.
You know what? I wish I did. I need to study up on that more because I don't know about Rocket Money and like what is entailed. The first thing that comes to my mind is there a fee to use it because it's a service? So
I don't remember. I just know it's on like commercials all the time.
yeah. So I can't recommend something like that for you right now besides like a budgeting. So most banking apps, whether you're with Rally Strong or another institution, they have like budgeting apps built into their online banking portals. And if you're using those, you should be able to identify if you have anything that's like not accounted for. So if you see something weird like a subscription, like that might help you identify them. So off the top of my head, that's what I would recommend. But if you are considering a service like that, just do your research first. Look up reviews, find out if there's fees, really know about the company before you sign up anything or contracts, things like that.
Yeah, but it does show like what subscriptions you have.
I've done that because I've had to do it for myself in the past, and it's so hard to catch. Where like I've been like me and my boyfriend are both paying for Disney Plus. We thought only one of us was paying for it. So.
Yeah, it would show like recurrence of the things that you're paying. I'm like, hey, like we found this, and so.
So if there's a fee for it,
She does that too on your if you go to the settings, it'll show you your subscriptions over there. on
Yeah.
your Settings.
mhm,
That's how I figured out what I was paying for too.
yeah. Yep. Yeah. I just know if there's a fee for that service, I would probably just take the extra time to go through my bank statements and try to find things like that. And yeah, it's your time, right? But you're not paying a fee for it. Because that's another subscription. Like it kind of is.
I'd rather
Contradict-
get the subscription than subscription because I personally miss that stuff that's the whole reason. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
I missed that for like over a year. That
Did
me
you?
and my boyfriend were both paying for it.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happened with Netflix too. Like,
Yeah. It's easy to do that. All right, what other questions you got? No? Okay. Well, thank you for having me today. If you guys have any questions at any time, like, please feel free to reach out. Stephanie has my contact information, but also we have tons of employees at any of our branch locations that can sit down. Like, if you are having trouble with budgeting or something like that, they'll sit down and they'll go through that stuff with you.
Even if we don't go to Valley Strong? Or do we have to open a Valley Strong account?
They would help you look at another statement, but it's much easier if everything was with us. And then that way, because we have financial counselors that you can sign up to see them once a month, and they go through that with you. So if your activities with us, it's going to be a little bit easier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, again, thank you guys, and hopefully see you guys again.
Yeah. Thank you, Emily.